Hey, so I'm here to talk to you about a paradise event. An event like no other. You would be on an island that is so fascinating, you're not gonna know what to do. And it's gonna be the best experience in your life ever. Let's do this again. Hey, so I'm here to talk to you about a paradise event. An event like no other. You would be on an island that is so fascinating, you're not gonna know what to do. And it's gonna be the best experience in your life ever. So here I am, dressed in my hippie red jacket and ready for this. Fyre Festival. The founder just got released recently because he was being a good person in jail, and he's interested in getting into tech now. I think it's safe to say that the previous 5 years are the years of defrauding investors. This should be the motto of the previous 5 years. Anyway, so he raised over $27 million from over 100 investors. Eventually went to jail for it because he was defrauding them. And the event was a total nightmare. It wasn't really an event per se, it was a disaster. If you're interested in knowing more about it, I would really recommend that you would watch the Netflix documentary. This is how I actually found out about Fyre Festival, watching this documentary, and it was such a good one. So go do that, and I'll put the link in the description of the video if you're interested in watching the documentary. Finally, the first thing you need to know about the Fyre Festival pitch deck before we start analyzing it. This pitch deck raised over $27 million, as mentioned before, and so this was their starting point. But the first thing you should do is subscribe. Okay, on a serious note, before we dig into the actual pitch deck, I do a lot of analysis on pitch decks, like the Uber pitch deck, like Snapchat's pitch deck, which is coming up, like Coinbase pitch deck, Tesla's pitch deck, FTX's pitch deck. And if you're interested in seeing that, then subscribe and like this video so that I will keep making more of those. Alright, so Fyre. We search for Fyre, or Fyre pitch deck, and there it is. You can download it, and I'll also attach this link in the description so that you would be able to easily download it or just explore the analysis on my startups page. So it's quite long, it's 42 slides, and it's not a typical pitch deck because it's supposedly for an event back then, but the pitch deck is actually not for an event, it's for the bigger picture. And I'm quite interested to know how they actually raised $27 million using this pitch deck. The pitch deck has a lot of fillers, so we're gonna skip a lot of slides, but you can see the full version whenever you want. So yeah. They start off by a very good design. So the whole deck is designed very well. It's expected. I mean, it's an event, so the design is a very big aspect of it. And yeah, so they started by promoting fireapp.com. I don't know if it's still on. Fireapp.com. Yeah, it's for sale for $4,295. So they start by showing fireapp.com in the first cover page, which intrigues the investors because why are they pitching an app? You know, aren't they just an event? Oh, they're a bigger thing. So let's look at what they're actually all about. It's a bigger concept. Private placement memorandum, confidentiality. I'll skip those slides because they're quite conventional. They're just telling you don't distribute it because we're defrauding you. No, they weren't saying they're defrauding you, but this is very common amongst pitch decks raising a lot of money that they just don't want this to be spread everywhere. So they start off by saying Fyre, what Fyre defines. Again, they don't want to be branded as an event, and that's very shown. So Fyre defines how we engage audiences and consumes media and share content by connecting consumers, celebrities, and brands through live experiences. So this is the core vision of what they're saying. They're starting by the vision because they want to be away from the fact that you're thinking they're just an event. Fyre bookings, and then they start with the first section, which is Fyre bookings, and they start with the problem. This is now the typical pitch deck. They say the problem, the solution, and everything around that. So the problem is that recorded music revenue is under pressure. That artists are not satisfied with the revenue they're getting from studios, and for that reason, they're just offering a new solution. So that's the focus of it. The focus of it is that we're looking to help artists And that, again, I wouldn't think this is the biggest pitch for the event. It's more for the app, which they're going to talk about later, or the website or the platform. It's a generic concept. So live bookings is the fastest growing segment in the entertainment industry, but we've seen firsthand that live industry is broken. Okay, so they're pitching the problem, very standard. Then they start showing Fyre, and they show it on a phone, so they're promoting the app that connects musicians, athletes, models, influencers to other businesses. So it's sort of a B2B platform that connects celebrities to the people who would want them in terms of companies or event organizers, etc. And then they immediately start pitching their talent network. They want to show you really famous names so that you would know that they mean business and they're not just fooling around, you know? So Jamie Foxx, Queen Latifah, Iggy Azalea, and Lil Wayne, a lot of big names. You know, when you see this, you're just like, okay, this is very interesting. These names alone are worth millions. So it's quite an interesting investment if they're actually okay with putting their faces there. So ironic. And then they start showing for buyers and talent. So they're explaining how the platform works and how buyers are connected to buyers and talent, how the whole process works. I like the slide, it's quite easy, and it just shows their business model. Like, it shows that buyers quickly submit, negotiate offers, talent evaluates, and then eventually bookings and connections between them facilitate in the upcoming time. So it's just how they imagine the platform working. Moving on, revenue model. Of course, it's any investor's question. How are you going to make money from this? And this is as simple as it gets. 10% fee to buyers, and they don't take commission from talent on bookings. So the buyers are going to be the one paying this commission. It's a standard business model when it comes to such an app. So that's okay. Usually they actually take from both ends. They take a 10% there and maybe a 5% from the other end, which is in this case the talent. But here they just stuck with a 10% to the buyers to lure more artists in. And then these are the fillers that I'm talking about. So come seek, searching is the foundation of fortune. Just a few images here and there to show that they're good in designing and that they're standing for a bigger thing. Our vision, they already mentioned it before, but they're all fillers. So Fyre has a unique goal and inspiration, the exploration of the uncharted, inspired by and referencing the 5 elements of Earth. So generic, and again, it's a little bit boring, if I'm being honest. This deck is a little bit boring because they're not cutting to the chase. Year 1 water. So this is the first thing. They're starting by water. Like, they're theming their events into different forms of Earth, so they start by water. And for that, this is the Fyre Festival. So then this is the Fyre Festival that they were starting to pitch, and it was a disaster, of course. And for that, they started now showing where are they going to do it, events. So from here, I wouldn't consider it a pitch deck. I would consider it an event deck at this stage, because they're just saying details about the Fyre Festival. Welcome to the festival. There is a video that they took, also famous. If you check out the documentary, it's a famous video. Summary, 2 weekends, details about the festival. And then they're going to start showing who is going to be in the event. This is an event, so I'm not really going to talk a lot about it because it's not really about the core of the pitch deck. It's like one small product that is it's not scalable even, because it's just a single event. I mean, their vision is that it would be super expensive and it would be repetitive. Again, it's not scalable because the word scalability, meaning that they could serve millions of people at the same second. And that's not true for an event, averagely speaking. So it's not scalable, but it could make them a lot of money. So they start pitching more names, famous people, etc., etc. And it's just a long list of them. Again, I personally think it's quite boring that they're just, pitching. If you put some images of people that are famous, that's okay. But if you keep doing that, it gets boring. Fire starters. And then they start showing what the press is saying so that you would know that this is a serious event. And this is traction. This is before they end the whole thing about Fyre Festival. This is traction. So they're showing you how many impressions they had, because again, they didn't really sell yet, but they're expecting, this is projections. I have no idea how they actually sold such an event and actually raised $27 million for an event before it started. It's mainly the names of the people who are famous, because this is projection. It's not even projection. It's nothing. Brand synergy. Some talking about the brand, pending partnerships. They're just also talking about the future. Land ownership. Supposedly Pablo Escobar's island, if I remember correctly. And it's also showing here that, you know, we're not just event organizers or party people. We're also we have a business mindset, and for that we're investing in the land itself, so that, you know, it's like a real estate investment as well, per se. So for that, it's showing that, you know, founders are smart and they're not just event focused. I like this slide. Financials not available. It was in the appendix. Raise $25 million to acquire 500 exclusive managers and expand Fyre globally. And then they started to show the team. And then Billy, who actually, he's the person who actually just got out of jail recently and wanted to go into tech, along with this guy who I read on, or what I saw in the documentary, is that he didn't really get a lot of charges, or he didn't get into a big trouble for him being a co-founder. And then that's the rest of the Fyre squad. Typical team slide, and then some just pictures. So that's it. That's the Fyre Festival pitch deck. It's more of a sales deck that is convincing people with the fact that the event is going to be awesome, and that at the same time, its future potential of it is quite big. So I think they were appealing to the investors who are with a young mindset, like, oh, Lil Wayne is coming. I love Lil Wayne. Okay, I'll invest. Because if you're talking about an investor like Warren Buffett, he would never invest in such a project, because it's not really looking like it's scalable. It's still out of ideation. A lot of things could go wrong. A lot of things did go wrong. And for that, it's a very bad investment. So this was a Fyre pitch deck. Quite fiery, wouldn't you say? So let me know what you think about the deck, and what do you think about Billy? Is he really going to get into tech same way Adam Newman did that? And it's, you know, it's quite interesting to hear your thoughts about how this is going to shape out in the near future. The festival is over, and like, this is old news, but it's quite interesting because now he's out of jail and now he gets into tech, and I'm very interested if he's actually going to be able to raise more investments. This would be like mind-blowing. Thank you for watching this, and have a great day.